Administration also announced it will pull the United States out of a UN immigration compact, saying the compact is incompatible with its efforts to restrict immigration and enforce American border security. Some people think enforcing borders is exactly the wrong idea. In fact, they dislike the idea of borders themselves. Peter Sherman founded the Group 1 Global Democracy, which advocates for abolishing countries and borders and instead creating a single world government where everybody gets a vote. Peter Sherman joins us tonight. Peter, thanks a lot for coming on. I don't know if you can hear me, Peter. I think we may have an audio problem. Huh, we were in different worlds, ironically, there for a minute. As I said, Peter Sherman runs a group that would like to abolish all countries and give each person a vote. The Trump administration has announced it will pull the United States out of a UN immigration compact. Some people dislike all borders, though. Peter Sherman founded the Group 1 Global Democracy. It advocates for abolishing borders and countries. He rejoins us now. Great to see you, Peter. Sorry about that. So I just wonder, why now? It seems like the rest of the world is moving in exactly the opposite direction. You had Brexit, you got the Catalonian separatists. Around the world, you're seeing things become disaggregated. People don't want to be part of big organizations anymore. You're saying the answer is a global government. Why?
So, hey, Tucker, thank you for having me on the show. One Global Democracy is here to create a new conversation about how we can make a better future for everyone by dissolving separate countries and international borders and giving everyone worldwide an equal voice in handling the big issues that affect us all, like climate change, which of course is the major cause of those tragic wildfires in Southern California, like inequality, which is hollowing out the middle class, as you covered last week, and like unlocking the doors to economic opportunity for everyone. We have a super powerful new video that makes the case for this on our website at oneglobalDemocracy.com, and I encourage everyone to check that out.
Yeah, I mean, I would encourage him too, because I think it's an interesting idea, but it seems very anti-democratic to me. People don't want this. They've never wanted it. The League of Nations had to be imposed on them. Same with the UN, the EU. Like, actual people don't want to be ruled from a great distance by people who don't speak the same language or have the same history or values. They don't want this. They never have wanted it. Why do you think otherwise?
Well, the key distinction here is between being ruled and democracy. Now, democracy is about everyone having an equal voice, and we don't have that today. International borders and separate countries are getting in our way. You know, our current patchwork of separate countries dates back more than 350 years to the days when horse travel was the state of the art for communications. An awful lot has changed since then. You know,
no, if I can correct
the laws of physics.
Wait, but people have always had different countries, not nation states, but they've always had, going back to the very beginning of time, tribes, distinct groups that have different rituals and customs, cultures, languages. People aren't all the same, and maybe that's why this would never work. Does that worry you?
Respectfully, Tucker, I disagree, you know, and that's what's so exciting about this moment in history where we are right now, because right now, for the first time in human history, we have an opportunity with new technology to actually implement a global democracy for the first time. So much has changed since we first had the Treaty of Westphalia in 1648 or whatever it was. You know, we've had the laws of physics articulated. We've had domesticated electricity. We've had the arrival of the internet and now blockchains.
But none of that changes.
Massively changing the world.
But why would you want to? But why would you want someone in a country you've never been to making decisions? I mean, presumably, if it's a one-man, one-vote democracy, then, like, the Chinese, with whom you have nothing in common, would be making decisions that affect you. Why would you want that?
Well, as a matter of fact, you know, one person, one vote. You'd be surprised, actually. If you look at the available international polling data, it is really surprising how much in common we have with people all over the world. Even if you look at the major population centers like China and India and Islamic countries, it is truly surprising
how many countries have you been to,
we have in
Peter?
common in terms of values.
Okay.
Quite a number. Quite a number.
Noticed that.
How
Okay,
about
thanks
you,
for
Ben?
joining us. Enough to disagree with you.
10,000 text messages being combed through right now at the Justice Department tonight, sent between FBI official Peter Strzok, who you've heard a lot about in recent days, and FBI lawyer Lisa Page, who was a co-worker who he was reportedly having a romantic relationship with. Some of their conversations were revealed to be so anti-Trump that it got him kicked off of this investigation into the Russian issue that's being run, of course, by Robert Mueller. So also new tonight, after 8 hours, Donald Trump Jr. done testifying behind closed doors to the House Intel Committee about the June 26 Trump Tower meeting with Russian lawyer Natalia Veselnitskaya. Earlier, I spoke with Congressman Trey Gowdy, who is a member of that committee, and asked him when he will get to view the Peter Strzok text messages and what he specifically wants to know about them.
Well, we met with the Department of Justice yesterday, and they have to go through the text. We're not entitled to, nor do we have any interest in purely personal text. We're very interested in both anti-Trump and or pro-Clinton text because, as you made reference to, he was a very important agent in her investigation, also in the ongoing Russia-related investigation, perhaps the decision for Comey to change the wording in his July 5th statement. So he's super important, and people have a right to know whether agents are biased one way or another. So the department's going to go through the text, and then they're going to make them available to us as soon as they can.
Do you still have confidence in the Mueller investigation and that team?
I do, Martha, but I got to confess to you, I understand people who think I'm wrong. I got an email last night from a friend back home saying, look, Gowdy, let go of the prosecutor stuff. I still think that Mueller can produce a product that we all have confidence in, but things like this make it really difficult. The perception is every bit as important as the reality, and if the perception is you're employing people who are biased, it makes it really difficult for those of us who would like to defend the integrity of former prosecutors and heads of the FBI.
All right. Now, in terms of the 8-hour-plus grilling, according to the reports that are coming out of Donald Trump Jr. today, was it a grilling in there? Is that how you would characterize it?
I wouldn't say. I've been married 28 years. It wasn't a grilling. It's not like any of the grillings I've gotten. So, no, it was a very professional exchange of information. Now, I am surprised that it took 7 hours to cover a 20-minute meeting at Trump Tower. I think only a bunch of lawyers could drag out a 20-minute meeting into a 7-hour deposition. But he was incredibly professional, and so were the members of Congress on both sides that did the questioning. But we're talking about a 20-minute meeting from which no information was gleaned at Trump Tower. So how you get 7 hours out of that for a bunch of guys and gals that aren't paid by the hour, it was quite a sight to see.
Yeah. Is there any suggestion that there was anything illegal that transpired on the part of Donald Trump Jr. in that meeting?
No, nothing illegal and nothing improper. I mean, you keep in mind, go back to the precise words of the email. The person who alleged to have information said official documents or information related to Hillary's ongoing dealings with Russia. Okay, she was the Secretary of State, she was a U.S. Senator, and she was a First Lady. So whatever dealings she had with Russia would have been in the official realm, and it defies logic, at least for me, particularly when you have the phrase official documents in the email. For all I know, they were talking about information that was already publicly available somewhere. Now, you put on the bookend of that meeting that Glenn Simpson with Fusion GPS was meeting with that same Russian lawyer before the Trump Tower meeting and allegedly met with that same Russian lawyer afterwards. So you got two meetings by Fusion GPS, which is paid for by the DNC with money laundered through a law firm. I don't see the media gaggle that was downstairs. They didn't ask a single question about those two meetings. They're just focused on the 20-minute meeting that was so boring, Jared Kushner got up and left.
One very quick question. Elijah Cummings says there's a whistleblower who says that Michael Flynn was texting someone saying that they're going to go ahead with the nuclear project of building nuclear plants in the Middle East at the inauguration, and that he said that he would lift the sanctions. The sanctions would be ripped up. What's your thoughts on that?
The first I heard of it was today. I was in a skiff all morning, so I heard about it at the same time you heard about it, which I don't know why Democrats won't give you the letter before they give it to the press, but I learned about it when you learned about it, and I went and gave a copy of the letter to Adam Schiff and Mike Conaway, who are the two top folks on HPSI, on House Intel, and said if we need to add people to the witness list, let's do it. I want to know everything there is to know about Flynn and Russia, but I'm not going to interfere with Mueller. And I don't think every committee of Congress needs to investigate the same fact pattern. So HPSI can do it. I gave the letter to Adam and Mike Conaway, and whatever they want to do with it, I'm all for.
All right. Congressman, thank you so much. Trigg Gowdy,
Yes, ma'am.
good to see you as
Thank
always.
you. Yes, ma'am.